The courtroom was her stage, and Monica had always been a masterful performer. She dabbed at her eyes with a tissue, her voice breaking at just the right moments as she painted me as the villain in our custody modification hearing. "He hasn't seen his father in years," she testified, her tears falling with practiced precision. "Marcus just abandoned us after the accident. Abandoned his own son when Brandon needed him most. I've been the only parent Brandon has had since he's been in the hospital." I stood silent beside my lawyer, my hands clenched so tightly my knuckles had gone white. Every word she spoke was a knife, but I'd learned long ago that reacting to Monica's lies only made things worse. She knew exactly how to push my buttons, how to make me look like the unstable one. So I stayed quiet, even as she murdered my character in front of Judge Harrison. "And you're seeking to terminate Mr. Reeves' parental rights entirely?" the judge asked, reviewing the documents. "Yes, Your Honor," Monica replied, her voice steady now, strong. The grieving mother bearing the weight of single parenthood. "Brandon needs stability when he wakes up. He needs to know he has one parent he can count on, not someone who disappears when things get hard." When things got hard. As if our 8-year-old son lying in a coma for 2 years wasn't hard on both of us. As if I hadn't aged a decade in those 24 months, spending every moment I could by his bedside. "Mr. Reeves," Judge Harrison addressed me, "do you have anything to say regarding these allegations?" My lawyer, David Stern, stood up slowly. He was an older man, methodical, the kind of lawyer who believed in letting evidence speak louder than emotions. "Your Honor," David said, pulling out a tablet, "we'd like to present some evidence regarding Mr. Reeves' relationship with his son." Monica's lawyer objected immediately. "Your Honor, we weren't notified of any additional evidence." "This is rebuttal evidence, Your Honor," David interrupted calmly. "Direct response to Mrs. Reeves' testimony about my client's alleged absence from his son's life." Judge Harrison nodded. "I'll allow it." David connected his tablet to the courtroom's display system. "Your Honor, what you're about to see is security footage from St. Catherine's Pediatric Hospital, where Brandon Reeves has been a patient for the past 2 years following a car accident." The screen lit up with a timestamp, January 15th, 2023, 5:47 a.m. There I was, walking through the hospital's main entrance, signing in at the security desk, taking the elevator to the 3rd-floor pediatric ICU. The footage switched to the hallway camera, showing me entering room 314. Brandon's room. "This is from 2 days after the accident," David narrated. "Mr. Reeves arrived before his work shift to spend time with Brandon." The timestamp jumped, January 16th, 2023, 5:52 a.m. Then January 17th, 5:45 a.m. January 18th, 5:50 a.m. "Every single morning," David continued, "before his 7 a.m. shift at the construction site, Mr. Reeves visited his son." Monica's perfectly composed face was starting to crack. That's not possible. The nurses never mentioned." "Please don't interrupt," Judge Harrison said sternly. The footage continued, now showing evening visits. 6 p.m., 7 p.m., sometimes as late as 11 p.m. when visiting hours officially ended. Day after day, week after week, month after month. "Your Honor," David said, "we have 730 days of footage. Mr. Reeves has visited his son every single day for the past 2 years. Twice a day when his work schedule allowed. He reads to Brandon, plays his favorite music, talks to him about school, his friends, everything Brandon is missing while he's unconscious." He clicked to another file. "This is a compilation the hospital security chief prepared at our request." The screen split into a grid showing multiple dates simultaneously. Me arriving in rain, snow, on crutches when I'd broken my ankle at work, even once in a wheelchair when I'd had emergency appendix surgery and discharged myself against medical advice to maintain my daily visits. "The hospital staff have provided sworn affidavits," David continued, handing a stack of papers to the judge. 37 nurses, doctors, and staff members confirming Mr. Reeves' consistent presence. Several mention they've never seen Mrs. Reeves at the hospital. "That's a lie," Monica burst out. "I've been there. I'm his mother." David clicked to another folder. "Your Honor, this is the hospital's visitor log. Every person who enters the pediatric ICU must sign in and show ID. It's a secure facility." The log appeared on screen. Page after page of my signature, Marcus Reeves, with timestamps matching the security footage. David scrolled through months of entries. "Can you show us Mrs. Reeves' entries?" Judge Harrison asked. David scrolled back to the beginning. There are 3 visits logged for Mrs. Monica Reeves. The day of the accident, the day after, and he scrolled forward. 6 months ago when she needed to sign insurance paperwork. The courtroom was silent. But that's not the most significant evidence, David said quietly. He pulled up another video file. This is from Brandon's birthday, March 22nd of this year. The footage showed me entering Brandon's room with balloons, a cake, and wrapped presents. I set everything up, lit the candles, and then the audio kicked in. The security camera had captured sound. "Hey, buddy." My voice came through the speakers, thick with emotion. "Happy 9th birthday. I know you can't blow out the candles yet, but I'll help you." I watched myself on screen, leaning over to blow out the candles, then sitting beside Brandon's bed, taking his small hand in mine. "I got you that Lego set you wanted, the space station. I'll build it here so it's ready when you wake up. And Mom said she might come by later." My voice on the recording cracked. "Well, maybe she's just busy. But I'm here, buddy. I'm always here. Every day until you come back to us." The footage showed me staying for 6 hours, building the Lego set piece by piece, narrating each step to my unconscious son. No other visitors came that day. Monica was no longer crying pretty tears. Her face had gone pale, her hands trembling. "Your Honor," David said, "we have one more piece of evidence. The hospital's social worker, Mrs. Patricia Kumar, has been documenting Mr. Reeves' visits as part of Brandon's care plan." A woman in her 50s took the witness stand. After being sworn in, she opened a thick folder. "Mrs. Kumar," David began, "can you tell us about Mr. Reeves' involvement in his son's care?" "Mr. Reeves is the most dedicated parent I've encountered in my 23 years at St. Catherine's," she said firmly. "He's attended every care meeting, every consultation with specialists. He's learned physical therapy techniques to help maintain Brandon's muscle tone. He's researched coma recovery extensively. He even sleeps in the hospital waiting room 3 nights a week because he wants to be there if Brandon shows any signs of waking." "And Mrs. Reeves?" Patricia Kumar's expression hardened. "I've tried to contact Mrs. Reeves 47 times about care decisions, therapy options, and family meetings. She's responded to none of them." "Objection!" Monica's lawyer shouted. "This is hearsay. These are documented attempts at contact," Judge Harrison interrupted. "I'll allow it," Patricia continued. "We have a family support group for parents of children in long-term care. Mr. Reeves hasn't missed a single weekly meeting. Mrs. Reeves has never attended." David returned to his table and pulled out one final item. "Your Honor, this is yesterday's footage. December 14th, 2024, 6:23 a.m. The screen showed me arriving as usual, but this time I was carrying something extra, a small Christmas tree. The audio captured me talking to Brandon as I set it up. 17 days until Christmas, buddy. I know you loved counting down. So we're going to do it together, just like always. And when you wake up, not if, when we'll have the biggest celebration ever." The footage continued showing me decorating the tiny tree, hanging ornaments Brandon had made in school before the accident. Then I pulled out my phone and showed the unconscious boy a video. "Look, your baseball team won yesterday. Coach Johnson says your spot is waiting for you. Tommy asked about you again. I told him you're just resting up to come back stronger." David paused the video. "This was yesterday morning, Your Honor. The same day Mrs. Reeves filed this emergency motion claiming Mr. Reeves had abandoned his son." Judge Harrison turned to Monica. "Mrs. Reeves, you testified under oath that your ex-husband hasn't seen your son in years. Would you like to amend your testimony?" Monica's lawyer whispered urgently in her ear, but she pushed him away. He must have found out about the hearing. This is all for show." "Mrs. Reeves," the judge's voice was ice, "are you suggesting that your ex-husband somehow fabricated 2 years of security footage? That he convinced 37 hospital employees to lie? That he went back in time to sign visitor logs?" I thought. What you thought, Mrs. Reeves, is that you could lie to this court. You committed perjury. You attempted to sever a father's legal rights to his child based on complete fabrications." David spoke up. "Your Honor, we'd like to file a counter motion. We're seeking full custody of Brandon Reeves, with supervised visitation for Mrs. Reeves once she completes parenting classes and therapy." "That's ridiculous," Monica shouted. "I'm his mother, a mother who hasn't visited her comatose son in 18 months, Judge Harrison said coldly. "A mother who lies under oath. A mother who tried to weaponize the legal system to punish a father whose only crime appears to be loving his son unconditionally." He turned to me. Mr. Reeves, do you have anything you'd like to say? I stood up slowly, my voice rough from holding back 2 years of pain. Your Honor, I don't care about custody fights or who wins. I just want to be there when my son wakes up. I want him to know that somebody stayed. That somebody fought for him every single day. Monica can have whatever she wants, the house, the money, whatever makes her happy. But please, don't take away my right to be Brandon's father. It's the only thing that's kept me going. Judge Harrison nodded. Mr. Reeves, I'm granting temporary full custody to you, effective immediately. Mrs. Reeves, you'll have supervised visitation once weekly, if and when you actually choose to visit your son. Furthermore, I'm referring this case to the district attorney for potential perjury charges. Monica collapsed into her chair, the performance finally over. As we left the courtroom, Patricia Kumar touched my arm. Marcus, there's something else. Brandon's brain activity has been increasing over the past month. The doctors are cautiously optimistic. We didn't want to say anything during the hearing, but keep doing what you're doing. He knows you're there. I drove straight to the hospital like I did every day. The security guard, Terrence, waved me through with his usual morning, Mr. Marcus. The nurses on the pediatric floor smiled as I passed. This was my routine, my purpose, my promise to my son. I entered room 314 and took my usual seat beside Brandon's bed. His Christmas tree twinkled in the corner. The Lego space station sat completed on his bedside table, along with 729 other daily reminders that his father never left. Hey, buddy, I said, taking his hand like always. You won't believe what happened in court today. Turns out everybody here has been watching out for us. We've got a whole team, Brandon. A whole family of people who know I'd never leave you. His hand was warm in mine, and I could have sworn, though the doctor said it was probably wishful thinking, that I felt the slightest pressure, like he was squeezing back. I'll be here when you wake up, I whispered, the same promise I made every day. No matter what your mom says, no matter what anyone thinks. Every single day, buddy. Every single day. The security camera in the corner recorded it all, just like it had for the past 730 days. Proof that love isn't about grand gestures or courtroom dramatics. Sometimes it's just showing up, day after day, even when it seems like nobody's watching. But somebody was watching. The entire hospital staff, it turned out. They'd seen a father's devotion and documented it, unknowingly building the case that would protect my right to be there when my son finally opened his eyes. 6 weeks later, on January 30th, 2025, at 6:47 a.m. during my morning visit, Brandon squeezed my hand. This time it was real. His eyes fluttered open, unfocused but searching. Dad, he whispered, his voice raspy from disuse. I'm here, buddy, I said, tears streaming down my face. I've been here the whole time. I know, he said softly. I heard you. Every day. The security camera captured that too. The moment that made every single visit worth it. The moment that proved sometimes the truth doesn't need elaborate performances or perfectly timed tears. Sometimes the truth is just a father showing up. Every single day.